How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Here Now with us, and they can say their names and what they do in the band.
Hey, I am Pat. I sing and I play guitar in the band.
Hey, I'm JW. I also sing and play guitar.
I know. I'm Nick. I do not sing and play guitar. I play drums.
I gotta get out of here. No, I
I
will
like to
say,
party.
Nick crushes it. I gotta say, I did a reaction video to Stay Dead. If you want to check that out, the links will be in the description. If not, you should just definitely go check out this song because it's one of the best songs I've heard this year so far. So gotta go show it some love. But I gotta say,
Thanks, dude.
Nick is a beast out behind the kit. I'll tell you what. I don't want to ruin it for Nick, but I kind of rizzed him up a little bit in the video, so I'm just gonna say.
Well,
I
now
don't
you
know.
go. Yeah, now you got
He's-
the number one.
He's gonna feel good. He's gonna show that. He's gonna be like showing it around. He's gonna be like, hey, yeah. So this one guy on the internet said I'm a real good drummer. So
This is my
I made it.
validation for the rest of my life.
That's what it's all about right there.
Nick shows up with like an award that he's like made up for himself. He's just like, yeah, best drummer. This guy on the internet said that I'm the best drummer in Philadelphia. So what's good?
I'm putting on my LinkedIn. Like
You
it's
got
going
it.
up.
I'll sign off on it. I'll sign off on it. Yeah,
It's in my resume.
I got you.
I appreciate that.
Best drummer in Philly.
I'll make sure to send the award out. We'll be good. We'll get it LinkedIn approved. You'll be set. But for those who aren't familiar, Here Now is a band from the Philadelphia area. I've had the pleasure of seeing them. Shout outs to the homies in Vagrants and Limbs. That's where I saw them at roughly a year ago on arguably the coldest day in like Philadelphia history. I still have like numbness in my fingers from that day. So, it's crazy. But it was so cold, and the venue was cold too. It was so rough. Oh my God. That was like the coldest set I think I've ever experienced in my
I'm
entire
all
life.
about like packing out our shows and people coming in, but every time the door opened and the cold just blew through the venue, I was like, people gotta stop coming in. Like they just,
That'd be the one time you would be like, don't let more people in. But they really,
they just cut through, and I was like, this is so.
it was so bad. But
Yeah.
shout outs to Warehouse and Watts. They were great though. The great venue. But I had the pleasure of seeing them live. I had never heard of them prior to this, and I was floored. It was such a great band from the area, and I was like, guys, you got to come on the show. And then, here we are a whole year later, and now they're on the show. So, just remember, dreams can happen if you really just, if you ask enough about it. So, but yeah, go check them out. But I wanted to know, guys, because I don't really know anything outside of just listening to your music. How long have you guys been doing this for? What is kind of like the origin story of Here Now? I don't know if you guys have done something like this in like podcasts or any interviews or stuff, but if you want to clear up the air on some things, you might as well do it here.
Yeah. I'll give like an abbreviated timeline. I started Here Now, kind of with the goal to sing for the first time once, firstly, and just kind of want to just do the music I've always wanted to do. I always played guitar in bands, and so it took a while for like Here Now to kind of like find itself. I played with a whole lot of different people. Eventually found Nick. Nick helped write Dilate. We put that out. That's the full length we put out in 2020, just right before the pandemic. And then we found JW just kind of like just after the pandemic. It's kind of like definitely the missing puzzle piece. The goal was always like kind of like rock that yells and guitar noodles and is busy, but melody driven for sure. I think I might have over abbreviated. So Nick, JW, chime in about your.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Pat and I, our relationship is interesting because one of my best friends is married to Pat's sister, and I knew of like Pat and Here Now, and we kind of like met each other. Pat brought me in and stuff, but like it's like a whole family thing, which was very cool that we had those connections, and like, you know,
Sure.
that's what ultimately brought us together. But I've known JW for quite some time, through like friends of friends and stuff. And I remember JW like hit me up and he's like, "Hey, I'm like looking to like join a band again and like start like, you know, playing more. Like, do you know anybody that's looking?" And I was like, "Well, you know,
Look no further, bro. Right here.
so
Dude, well, actually, before that, I hit you. I saw you posted a story at the practice space that you guys were at, and I was like, "That's a sick practice space." And I was looking for a spot at that point, and so I was like, you know, where is this or whatever. And then I was like, "Yo, if you guys ever, you know anybody that's looking to jam or whatever, let me know." And then it was a ways after that, actually, that you were like, "Actually, dude, you want to come jam?" And I was like,
Wow.
"Hell yeah!"
yeah,
Didn't
You know,
take
you
the
plant
hint.
the seeds and they grow. You know.
exactly.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
just
that was like 2 years that we were like, hey, we should reply to JW.
left them on red.
Yeah.
I know that feeling. But woo, not to throw stones, but hey, you know, that yeah, and I think it's crazy to me, like how doing this over the years, it's kind of insane to me how like music brings people together in that way. Like it's like the most uncommon way. Like I people are surprised like that aren't music heavy like I am. They're always like, "Oh, how do you know this guy?" It's like, "Ah, yeah, so I know this guy because he plays in this scene and like he used to play in this band." And everyone's like, "Are you like the Charlie Day, like trying to like figure out where all the like the strings go?" You know, like I think that to me is like the wildest thing, but is also kind of like the coolest bond that I can have with like all of these musicians that I've done this for. Um, it's such a gratifying experience. So I'm glad that you guys were able to kind of find that, you know, finding that missing that piece, which happened to be JW. So that
Yeah.
I'm glad it all worked out. And then in regards to that, for Nick and JW, had you been in prior projects before Here Now, and were you, like I said, were you maybe not feeling, I want to say not fulfilled, but like maybe you're like, oh man, I'm kind of doing this because I want to be making music, but this isn't maybe the music that I want to be making.
Yeah, I've been in a bunch of bands before, and they were all. I've always enjoyed the music I
Hmm.
was making, and a bunch of different kinds of music from like pop punk to even like heavier stuff than what Here Now writes. And I think I definitely know that I enjoy the music that we're writing in Here Now. Most of all, it's like the most like my alley kind of thing, and it kind of feels like a culmination of a lot of the bands that I played in, like because
Mm.
it's like kind of got like some of the popular aspects, a little bit of the heavier stuff, pulling from all those different projects. So it it's cool that it like came together at this time, and you know like was able to like pull from all those other bands and projects that I've been a part of. But yeah, definitely this is the most fulfilling in a band for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've played in bands like my whole life, and you know, I've always been kind of playing in a band. And then when I actually started talking with Pat and Nick about Here Now, I was working on a solo project, which have been working on and I'm still working on.
Sure.
And I released music with that. But you know, there's something about playing music with other people. You know what I mean? When the only source of ideas are your own ideas, there's no like external stimulus. Like you kind of get sick of yourself at a certain point. And so, you know, having sort of counterpoints to bounce ideas off of, and like, you know, other people to kind of do this thing with,
Sure. Yeah.
you know, it's a lot more fun. Then you know it's great to have like total control of like, okay, you know, I want this to be exactly this, but it kind of loses the incidentals that you can't do yourself or wouldn't think of yourself, you know. So yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, I think it also probably allows for like more creativity because you're like bouncing those ideas off of other people and they're like, wow, I
Right.
would have never thought that idea would go
Yeah.
from this point to like over here. And that was kind of me going back and listening to a lot of like of the older stuff from Here Now, like 2020 sort of stuff. And I was like, okay, I can kind of see where it's like where the nucleus is in terms of like what you guys were going for. But I think as you have kind of gone on and aged more in terms of like the musical catalog, like I said it off camera, but I feel like Stay Dead is like your best song, and I know everyone is gonna be like, "Oh my god, the trope! This is their best song. It's their newest song. Of course, it's gonna be their best song." But as listening to their entire catalog of music right now, I do feel like is the best. At least for my opinion, I think it's the best representation for what you guys are doing. It has like those heavy moments, but it also has those moments where I'm like, this is a song I need to experience live. Like this is like a full like this is a song I need to hear in person because I think there's maybe a lot more energy that's like cooped up in that song that you know, you can only get so much in a recording. Live, I feel like there's just going to be a little bit more of a emotion to it. Was that kind of your thought process in writing Stay Dead? Like you were just like, man, this song's gonna hit live. It's gonna have like a different energy about it.
Yeah, I think I remember like as we were like hashing out ideas and like working through drums and guitars. There was a lot of times where I was just like, this just needs to not stop.
Yeah, for sure.
This
Yeah.
just needs a truck from beginning to end, no breaks, just crush the whole way. And in achieving that, I kind of just I want to keep that energy when we write other stuff too. It makes you realize like I don't want to slow down ever again.
I think you said it best in our one like press release for the song. And this is kind of like what we were all aiming for is like when you write a song, you really want like push and pull and kind of like some movement to it. And we're like, what if we wrote a song that's just push, and it's just more of that. So I think that's a good way of kind of summing it up of like, what we were going for with the song where it's very drivey and heavy hitting. And it's just got like a steady movement throughout the whole thing.
I would agree. You have any other comments, JW?
No, I mean that's pretty much it. Yeah, we just wanted it to go the whole time. And I think a lot of the stuff on Dilate does have that push pull and like there's some, lower moments and things like that, but we just kind of wanted to like go 100 miles an hour the whole time.
Yeah, I feel like it's taken up a notch. Like I think there was something about again listening to the old stuff and kind of like not reminiscing because I didn't know it prior to this point, but it was cool to kind of listen to it and kind of compare to what you guys are releasing now and how much of a growth there is in that, and even kind of the growth between Partial Permanent and Stay Dead. I think there was such like an evolution that happened between those songs, which is pretty interesting in terms of the writing time. How long of a gap was that between Partial Permanent and Stay Dead? Were they written around the same time, or was there a good amount of space in between? Because it does seem like maybe you picked up some new influences along the way. That would be my understanding, at least.
It's funny. So these last two songs, what kind of also separates them for us is like we started recording with a different producer engineer, Adam Kachaki, who was awesome.
Yeah, love
big
Adam.
Shout out to the homie. Yeah, he's done too many cool projects now. But so when we first started booking with him, we sent him Partial Permanent and Stay Dead, and it's funny because we said, which one do you want to do? And he said Partial Permanent, hands down. This is the song.
Wow.
And I don't know who of us. I think I was shocked because I was like, Stay Dead's the song.
I think we all were. Yeah.
This is like, champagne problems if we're going to disagree on which one's better and which ones we're going to, think gets more effort or whatever.
Sure.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, these were recorded 3 months apart from each other, maybe 2 months, something really close.
Yeah. Yeah, because we had like double studio time booked with him, and that's why we're like, we know we're going to get both songs done. Which one do we want to do first? And he was pretty stoked on Partial Permanent. Yeah, which we love Partial Permanent, and like obviously, like it's a song we're super proud of. I think we were all eager to see how Stay Dead turned out because it is a different direction, and we're pretty passionate about that song as well, and we're excited to record that one too. So it was within like a short time period, but got them both knocked out.
That's crazy because I wouldn't have never expected that. Like listening to both of them back to back, I was like, I feel like they were written at two different complete times. So for them to be like pretty close in terms of proximity, that's pretty nuts to me. So shows the range, I think.
Yeah, and thank you. And it's funny, when we were originally setting out to record these songs, our goal of the year was record with like 3 to 4 different producers and see who we fit in and who fits us the most. And we had time booked with somebody else when we went to go record Partial Permanent with Adam. And when we left Adam's studio, we canceled that time. We're like, nah, Adam's our guy. Like,
Wow.
we don't even want to experiment with anybody else. Gassing you up real big, Adam. If you
Well, he's out. I know he's out with Casey now, so big salutes to Adam. He's doing great stuff. I had his project Gatherers on like years ago, so love Adam. He's great, and he's pretty much has done like a large majority of my like roster here that I've compiled over like 8 years of doing this. So I feel like in some small way I'm trying to pay a little homage to Adam. So shouts to Adam. You don't have to pay me any
becoming
money
that
for saying
guy.
that, it's all good. Well, water under the bridge, So but in terms of people who haven't heard of Here Now, and this may be the first interview that they watch of you guys, what song would you recommend to a new listener to check out first to kind of give them an idea of your sound?
I'll go last.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I would say, and I don't want to say Stay Dead because that's the new one.
That's a given, I feel.
I would probably say Stay Dead, but if we're taking Stay Dead out of the equation, I would say Dilate, the single.
Ooh, okay.
I think that's a good summary of Here Now sound. It's got a lot of like the peaks and valleys, the big like kind of epicness and emotion. Yeah, I feel like that's the one that I would probably put on first for somebody.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. I feel like there have been different eras of the band, and I feel like Dilate as a record has its own vibe, and that vibe is different than the things that have come out after Dilate. I would say off of the Dilate record, The Noise is probably one of the ones that is very like symbolic of the band. But as far as this chapter and this, like, I guess to an extent different direction, probably Stay Dead. Yeah.
I am absolutely looking at Analog right now.
What are our songs again? What did we write?
I'm gonna say that I feel like we're taking Partial Permanent out of the equation too, because I do love that song.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, obviously, if we're not saying Stay Dead, and then if we're not saying Partial Permanent, no, I'm gonna say if we're not saying Stay Dead, Partial Permanent. I was really tempted to say Dilate, and then I wanted to agree with The Noise. I think when we finished The Noise, we kind of said like this is like what we want the sound to be like moving forward, and it kind of headed in that direction. That was like the jumping off, I think, after Dilate, which Partial Permanent sounds nothing like it. So go us, we really just
let's go, yeah. You're showing range, Hey, I respect that. I think it's difficult I think it's difficult because it's either feast or famine with fans, I think, to some degree, because if you stay in the same lane, people are going to be like, man, I can't believe Here Now became that cookie cutter band we all hate now. You know what I mean? But if you go out and do the big grandiose shit, they're like, man, they're really, barking outside of their comfort zone here. And I don't know if I like it. I think it's difficult, and that's why I always try to go into any group that I listen to with just like an open mind and be like, this sound may be the sound they have now, but may not be the sound they'll have in like X amount of years. And you have to grow. You have to grow with the artist. Like I think that's a big thing, and I understand people love to have the nostalgia. There's certain albums and bands that I love that I still go back and listen to, and I still love now. I probably will love forever. And there's some bands that I'm like, man, I really wish you went back to the old sound, but I can go listen to the old albums, and not complain because they're doing different shit, and that's great. Good for them. Range, I'd love to see it.
We've talked about like the sound being consistent, and we want to do X things to keep the sound consistent. I feel like when we have those conversations, we land on like, no, let's just do what comes out and it's consistent because it's us doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll the
Yeah.
I would say like a partial permanent Stay Dead and the next song we have queued up, like there's like kind of like these big gaps of like, all right, where do these fit into each other?
And we've had that discussion a lot, and you said it well, Pat. It's just like, we always, when we finish a song or we're moving on to the next one, we're always like, what do we want this next song to be? Like, what's the vibe? We'll do this. And then we're like referencing like, oh, it'd be cool to write a song like this or like that or stuff. And then we're just like, we step back, and then because we get in our heads maybe a little too much, but then we step back and we're like, let's just write the music that we want to write and just write, and whatever comes out, that's it. And that's how we've approached since I've been playing with Pat. Like, that's what we've been doing. That's how a lot of the songs on like Dilate came about and everything. It's like, we want to write the music we want to write, and we just put ourselves into it and try not to overthink it. And I think that's what's kept it consistent. We have songs like, like The Fox, which is like very fast and heavy,
Yeah.
to like Stay Dead, to like, others like Wait and Dilate, the acoustic song. Like, there's like that wide range, but like they all work in a set together. Like they all like fit together, like no matter the vibe, and it's because it's us. And I think that's the cool thing about it.
Yeah, I think it's your ability to grow with artists. Like, I think my biggest sentiment whenever I'm listening to music is like, if I go and see them live or I like see them in videos and they're enjoying themselves and they're making music they enjoy, that to me is like, regardless of if I like the sound or not, I know they love what they're doing, and we should really try to foster that. Not because like I could be jaded and be like, "Oh, I can't believe this band doesn't sound like this anymore. That really sucks," Like, and yeah, of course I have those moments, but then I'm also like, these are people that enjoy making music and they're still putting music out. Like, we should cherish that rather than just being like an old jaded person, be like, "I can't believe you don't sound like emo anymore. It's crazy." But I don't know. That's me. That's how I take it. Maybe it's my like 31-year-old age, but I feel like that's really important. And if Here Now becomes like a country band, like, that's fine. I'm not gonna. I'll be like, I respect you guys. Hey, you do you. All the love. I'm just gonna go listen to Stay Dead 100 more times, but hey, respect.
Country screamo. Let's do it. Let's start it.
That's like what Bill Murray's like going that direction.
I was gonna say Bill Murray is on that. Yeah.
They're already
You're right.
that market. So
Shout outs to my guy. I love Johnny. Big ups to my man. I love that dude so much. But that is the only country I will listen to is Bill Murray. As confirmed, that's the only time I will listen to it. So, but the next question I have for you guys is, who were kind of the first people or groups that you saw that really influenced you to become a musician? Like, did you see them on like TV, on YouTube, whatever? You're just like, man, I want to be a musician.
I'll go first because I feel like I've got the cookie cutter answer for a lot of drummers, and that's Travis Barker.
Oh, yeah. I had a feeling.
I remember like, I think it was All the Small Things or something came on, and like my like school's news, like they played it or something. And I remember like asking the person next to me, like, who is this? They're like 182. And I was like, what? And then it was just like from there. And my parents were like making me take like drum lessons, like as like a kid, like you're not like enjoying it, but it was like an anger outlet and something, like, needed a hobby. But it was like with the school. So it was like, like practice pads and marching band stuff, which is great looking back on and learning like rudiments and all that. But that like opened my eyes to like, oh, what this could be. And I think that's what a lot of drummers' answers are, but it also speaks miles to the impact Travis Barker's had on the scene and, things that he's had. But that was like my moment of like hearing Blink-182 and then Travis Barker. I was like, this is it.
Yeah. Fair. Pat, JW?
I mean, so I started playing guitar when I was 7, when I like didn't know anything about anything. And so I kind of like, I started out just sort of playing the type of music that like my parents listened to, like classic rock, and did a lot of that sort of stuff. And then, fast forward a few years, I'd been playing for like 5 years or something by the time that, people that I went to school with figured out that like playing in bands was cool and stuff. And so then I started playing, a lot of the like pop punk and, different things like that. I feel like at one point I knew like every Blink 182 song. So shouts out to Blink 182 and all of those like bands. But yeah, I feel like I started at a point where I was playing like a lot of stuff that I don't really listen to at all now, but it was really cool because I was trying to was like 10 years old trying to rip blues solos and shit like that, and that helped me out long term. And I don't really play a ton of that kind of music now, but um it was cool to have roots, I guess, sort of in that space.
It laid the foundation. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat, what about you?
So I was thinking about it, and I used to skate and hit the same skate spots as this kid, Mike Nerosa. And one day he's like, "Yo, we're gonna jam in the basement. You should come listen." And I went and watched them play, and just like these guys, kind of similar answers. They started playing "Damn It" by Blink-182,
Oh,
and that was the moment that I was like, I want to fucking play guitar. This is sick. So I mean, I'm sure he knows that, or maybe remembers it or not. But yeah, Mike Nerosa is the reason I play guitar, and then I played in bands with him for like 10 years after that. It was awesome. So yeah, Mike Nerosa and Blink-182.
Is this why we're a three-piece? He's just rooted in this band. We don't want to force him.
JW has to play bass. He's got to swap over the bass.
Yeah.
Then you will be Blink 182.
That's it.
You guys are cosplaying as Blink 182. If you guys don't know, they actually are just a Blink 182 cover band. That "Stay Dead" thing is, that's not a song. I'm just kidding. It's a front, guys. No, I love that. I feel like for me, like mine, I kind of resonate a lot with JW because my parents listened to like a ton of classic rock, and like my first guitar teacher was like that atypical like hair metal, like long hair, cut off like white shirt, like and just shredded on the weekends, and came in like completely fucked up and like worked with my dad, but he would play like Guns N' Roses, all that shit, and I was like, damn, that's so fucking cool. Like, I need to do that now. And then I learned like Green Day stuff because Green Day was like power chords pretty much, and like Foo Fighters and stuff, So I feel you on that. That classic rock stuff, like I don't listen to it as much as I used to, but anytime it comes on, like if I'm listening to the radio for whatever reason, I'm just like, man, that stuff still hits. I still love the classic rock
dude,
stuff.
It rips.
So
yeah. And I feel like there's so many different like eras of it too, obviously spanning such a large amount of time. And, there were times when I was listening to like Eric Clapton and then like Guns N' Roses and then like, you know what I mean? It's and then Van Halen, and I was like trying to tap shit out. And, I feel like there's such a wide range of things that kind of come from that, which is really cool. And, I mean, not that like pop punk and like that type of like punk stuff isn't like that. There's a lot of flavors of that too, but I feel like the range in like music pre-pop punk is like pretty wide.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I think there's no argument there, but man, anytime like a Blink 182 song comes on or like a Green Day song comes on, I'm just like I'm immediately going to nostalgia. My brain like kicks in. I'm like, I know exactly where I heard this song the first time I heard it, and I'm like, man, I'm old as shit, So, so I love
formative
that.
times.
I also think it's really sad because no offense to Green Day, I love them, but they like just announced they're doing like a 20-year anniversary tour of like some of their best work, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, that is crazy. That album is like a 20-year-old. So that's wild.
Crazy. Yeah. They like sneak up. Like, no way, that's not right. They did that.
I was like, did they calculate this right? Like, there's something's off. Math doesn't math.
Yeah, we off the 20-year anniversaries are hitting right now.
Hurt your feelings.
I know, it's kind of gross because like in my head I tell myself it's a 10-year or even like
Yeah.
it hasn't been that long.
I feel like it's like the Tim Allen thing where he looks in the mirror and he turns into like Santa Claus and he has all the great. That's what I feel like every time I look in the mirror and I'm like, they're like, Blink-182 announces their 30-year anniversary tour. I'm like, son of a bitch, like I can't do this anymore. Yeah, it's over. Yeah, I'm gonna start walking around in a cane. You know, I don't think it will truly hit me because I'm going to. Shout outs to When We Were Young Fest. I'm going to that this year.
Oh,
And
dude.
I'm like, God, all of these albums are like 10, 15 years old. And I'm just like, are we all going to be rolling up with like stroller carts? Like, just like, oh my God, I remember Downfall of Us All. That's a great breakdown. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, it just hits a little different now. I mean, I get it. I love it. I'm stoked. But some of those albums I saw on the list, I'm like, man, this album's turned like 10, 15. It just hurts my chest a little, you know?
Pat and I
It's
just
also-
watched the story of the year, Page Avenue. Was that 20
Oh,
years?
That was
one?
20
That was.
years, I think.
Yeah. I know the whole time we're just like, damn, we're old. Yeah.
Till the day I die might be coming up sooner than you think. No
I'll tell you
offense.
what, I'm aggressively anticipating when these like the screamers are like just full gray silver foxes. Like
no.
and like there's some bands who are already there. I'm not gonna I feel like it'd be rude to call them out, but like I want to see these like full old guy just screaming motherfuckers.
Oh, that'd be so sick. Yeah. I feel like it's anytime I see like Silverstein, no offense to them, I don't think they're old. Silverstein, if you watch this, I don't think you're old. But I like anytime that I see their posts, I'm just like, man, I just think of Shane just being like 60 years old and he's just like, all right, guys, this is my heroine. I need you to sing it with me because I'm starting to lose my like, you know, like I feel like that's coming and I'm just like, just don't do it. Just like, don't. I would love to see an anniversary tour, but just don't do it because I don't want to. Like, I want to remember the nostalgia of you being like, he's on top, he's doing it. You know, like.
I just saw them, and by accident, I went to go see Straight from the Path, and it turns out Silverstein was headlining. And it's funny because, shit, I'm gonna say this out loud. I almost left early. While Silverstein was playing.
Wow.
Really?
I like Silverstein, but wait.
There's more.
I can save myself here. They were playing. What was it? Shipwreck in the Sand? Maybe like it was like the 10 year.
Oh, it was
anniversary.
it was This Is How the Wind Shifts.
That's it. Thank you.
I got you.
So
I got you, Pat.
Yeah, it was just a few days after that show that my Spotify Wrapped dropped. And it turns out that Silverstein was like, I think maybe my first or second most listened to band of the year. And I honestly had no clue, but it's because that last album they dropped fucking bumps. I love it.
It was great. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. That's so, yeah. I every time I see Shane, I'm just like, he's gonna run out of steam. Like, there's no way he's gonna sound that good live, and he still sounds exactly the same. It's crazy.
Yeah.
He is like unaged.
I feel like
he
they're
tours.
just always on tour. Like, yeah.
Perpetually on tour. So shout outs to Shane. Whatever your secret is, let us know in the comments. We need to know because like you probably will. I know we were talking shit. Oh, I was specifically talking shit, but I feel like you're gonna be fine. You know, so don't take it from me. You know, I'm just some guy who interviews other bands. You know, you will be young forever. Yeah. So there you go. Shout out to Silverstein, but. The next question I have for you guys, keeping it more current, you know, because obviously I feel like everybody that was in elder emo just like left because they didn't want to feel depressed. But wanted to know what you guys are listening to now. What's currently on your Spotify? What are you spinning more recently?
I was just telling JW I'm so fucking sick of music right now, and I'm listening to a lot of podcasts. But as far as music goes,
to be fair, you did throw yourself under the bus for Silverstein, so I feel like you know that kind of is hand in hand, you know. So I got you.
I'm gonna look at my Spotify.
Yeah, that was
like, what is it?
I know. I'm looking at my Spotify right now. My 2023 was heavy Silverstein. I loved the last Under Oath record.
Oh,
love it a lot.
Mhm.
I don't know if people judge us or not. I can't tell because the band's so huge, and once you're huge, people judge you. But I love everything that Horizon's doing.
Bring Horizon's
Um,
great. Yeah, they're fantastic. Yeah.
Holding Absence, I think, is driving me a lot too. Yeah, and then I think that's like kind of like my top. I don't want to say my top rotation, but stuff that's like that I'm into as far as like what we're playing and like might influence me.
Good
I'm
choices.
trying to think of my like Spotify Wrapped and everything too. I know from this past year, like I was heavy in that last Dayseeker album.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it still am. Like I feel like that's like one since that came out, which is probably over a year now. Like that album is like just been constantly on rotation. I think it's one of the best albums that's come out in a very long time. JW and Pat are probably sick of me talking about Dayseeker. I'm always like going off about them. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else is on. I remember like I think Bill Murray was probably on my
Ooh,
rap like top five.
yeah.
Oh, Many Eyes is so good. There's only three songs.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll be at the TLA next week. I think it's next week or 2 weeks with Thursday. Yeah,
Oh,
Oh, shit.
yeah. Keith Buckley is killing it.
yeah.
So those three songs like just been in rotation for 3 songs to hit that hard. I think that's a good sign. So, but yeah, I've been heavy on them, and along with Pat, Bring Me the Horizon too. Like they're huge, and I just think they're doing really unique stuff that's real fun to listen to.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Wouldn't disagree.
yeah.
JW, what you got?
Dude, I'm a sucker for pop rock. Nightly is
Oh,
fucking awesome. I've been listening to a lot of bands sort of in that space. I've also been listening to some heavier stuff. I randomly a couple months ago got really into Knocked Loose, which is pretty fucking awesome. I've been listening to a bunch of Architects. But then I also recently, this is another sort of left field thing, been listening to a lot of like lo-fi music, which
oh,
if
same.
you want to just chill and just like feel nothing for a little bit, you know,
That's the
just
best
put on
way to
some
describe
lo-fi,
it.
dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It
that.
also is like, it's like hybrid of like, it's like jazz without being challenging to listen to.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's
I
just
agree.
kind of soothing and just like,
It's
just
so
chilling
easy.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been listening to a bunch of that also. So I feel like I'm kind of across the spectrum a little bit. But yeah, those are I guess the main pillars right now.
I feel like JW had like a camera on me as I'm editing my videos because I always throw lo-fi on, and I'm just like, man, I feel more optimal. I don't know how, but like
Yeah.
my brain's like, yeah, you got it here, you're doing this, and then like the lo-fi is just kicking, and I'm just like, this is great. And I've like edited through like 10 videos. And I'm like, this is sick.
Yeah, it puts you in that like flow state a little bit, and you're just
Yeah.
like, it also there's like a weird degree of like, it makes your life feel almost a little bit more cinematic, like you're being filmed doing this thing, you know?
I agree with that.
That
Just
is
like
true,
you wistfully
yeah.
look out the window and it's
You're like-
raining, and you're just like, yeah, man.
This is
Lo-fi
nice.
is woke, straight up.
Yeah.
The only reason I haven't been listening to, like, usually that's all I'm listening to during the day while I'm working. I'm like sick of all the playlists I've been listening to because they haven't been updated. And like, I know what song is coming on after the last one. Like, these songs don't have words or like anything really happening, but I know them enough and know what's coming next. And now, like, so you guys send me your lo-fi playlist, please.
Funnily enough, so I'll either throw on like the live one, the lo-fi and chill one or whatever, I go throw that on, or I'm like uber nerd and I have a couple of like video game lo-fi like vinyls that I have in my collection that I throw on and I listen to. So I'm truly a hipster. So I feel like, guys, roast me in the comments. Definitely I deserve it. So roast me as much as you'd like, but
Dude,
yeah,
Zelda and chill is my thing.
oh, it's so good. Shouts to there's this one artist named Mikkel. He's done I think like 3 versions
Philly,
of
right?
it. He's not from Philly, so I found out that the company that he prints all of his vinyls on are from Philly, but he is from like Europe somewhere, I think. I'm pretty sure. I think it's like Denmark. I'm almost positive. So shouts to Mikkel. He's
That's what
great.
I said. Change that.
I got you. Yeah. Don't worry, Pat. I'm doing the assist tonight. I'm getting the dubs for you. But yeah, no, I'm super stoked. I'm probably gonna go to that Knock Loose show in Philly, and then I know Holding Absence is doing their show in Philly. So like I think next week. So I'm gonna be going to that as well.
Yeah, we are playing the same night, unfortunately, and Adam is playing with Cape.
Yeah,
we wanted to
Casey.
go see Adam, and I mean,
we're a mile apart, so
I know. I
we're
saw.
like just close enough to it's a bummer.
Maybe I should just
let's
pop
all meet up
by.
for pizza before the gig.
Well, I'll pop by for both. Maybe I'll have to see. Let me know.
Doing sprints up Frankfurt Avenue.
I just
going
like, yeah, you just see me running back and forth with my camera gear. I'm just like, I'm going to make all the sets, I swear. But yeah, that's great. So shout outs to all those bands, but especially shout outs to Lo-Fi. If you listen to Lo-Fi, let us know. If you should make some Lo-Fi tracks of Here Now, if you're a Lo-Fi producer.
Ooh,
Be
JW
sick.
can do that.
I've done some lo-fi stuff on my Instagram. I've toyed with, making a project out of it, but I
Listen,
one
I
of
would
these days.
I would listen to some Lo-Fi Here Now.
Be
100%.
sick.
I put that on. I mean, you kind of did it with Ransom Redux, though. I will
Mhm.
say
That was the original goal for that song, is to do like a lo-fi version, and then it just kind of like morphed into something else that I was stoked on, so I let it happen.
it came out really sick. So I was like, did my Lo-Fi playlist came on? That's crazy. And then I was like, nah, it's actually Here Now. That's awesome. Cool too. So, but the next question, guys, that I have for you, another fun one. What is your favorite food to eat? What's your go-to?
Buffalo chicken, always. Anything buffalo chicken, fuck me up. I'm in.
Buffalo
It's not even a
chicken.
question.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a good choice, I think.
I mean, how do you top that?
You
I mean,
don't.
I would say
Buffalo chicken.
I was gonna say wings, so it's kind of the same thing.
Kind of same thing.
Yeah, it's all yeah.
JW,
I was gonna say tacos, but that's really broad.
Ooh,
I've also
tacos
been-
are good
dude,
though.
I've been ripping ramen recently. God damn.
Like good ramen, you're going out, or you
Yeah.
get like the dollar packets. And
No. No.
Those are
so
great too,
recently-
Nick. All right.
They're both good ramen.
Yeah, both
Yeah.
good. There's a place called Ivan Ramen in Lower East Side that is like so good. There was like a Chef's Table episode about it.
Oh, wow.
Really good. And then I recently went to in the East Village. Have you heard of Momofuku Noodle Bar? It's that guy David
Oh
Chang.
yeah.
That shit is really good.
Shit slapping.
I feel like that's like if I'm gonna go out and get food somewhere, that's like what I'm going for. So I guess that's my top pick right now.
Ramen's good. I can confirm. I have to ask, since you guys are the Philly band, what's your take on cheesesteaks? Do you have a spot that is like for people that aren't like touring homies? Like, what's a spot you would be like, listen, you got to go to this space?
We were just discussing, and on three, it's 1, 2, 3, Angelo's.
Yeah, I was going to Angelo's, 100%.
I was not a part of that discussion.
JW just like, I don't know if I agree with that one, but
You go 1, 2, 3, and I was like, I'm drawing a blank, dog.
It's because JW's late. We covered it.
Yeah.
Conversation after 3.
True.
Angelo's, 1000% though. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Our
I would
old
say
practice space used to be around the corner from Angelo's. And I remember when they were opening, we were walking by, and we always had like pizza spots and stuff that we would go to. We'd take breaks at practice, or like after practice, we go out. Yeah, and then if only we knew what Angelo's was going to become. Like that was right there. But man, that cheesesteak is next level.
Okay. Would you corroborate that, JW? Would you say?
I've never had that one, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The one that I have the most frequently is Joe's in Fishtown, because I live in Fishtown. And it's actually pretty legit. And I would say if bands are on tour playing the Fillmore, then go to Joe's, because it's like walkable. Jim's was on South Street, but there's that whole like shit show with
issue.
that right now, right?
That's rough.
Yeah. I remember that being really good. I actually one time did a cheesesteak tour of Philadelphia when I first moved there with some friends that were from Baltimore that they came up for the weekend, and we drove. We were like 5 deep in a car, And we
Oh,
went to like 6 places and bought one cheesesteak at each place and took a bite and passed it down.
that's so sick.
And we took notes. I don't remember what one though. I wasn't very familiar with the city at that point because I had just moved there. And but I ate a lot of cheesesteak that day, and it was all good. It was all good. But we wound up at some like really weird spots that was like, I don't know. But yeah, they're all good mostly.
I feel like I would it's a rite of passage to ask you that question because I feel like for me, like if I go to a show at the TLA, I always recommend Ishkabibble, which is across the street. I think that spot is Chef's Kiss. I know everybody says Jim South is better, but I want to politely disagree and say I think Ishkabibble is better. But that's just my personal preference.
Well, you're not wrong in that Ishkabibbles is open right now, and
It is.
True.
Jim's is not.
closed because they
Yeah.
caught fire. Yeah, so by default,
By default, it's
Ishkabibbles is the winner.
is the place to go. But I will say Joe's. I've had Joe's a couple of times. Whenever I go to the Fillmore, I'm just like, man, I need a cheesesteak. I'll go to Joe's. I like that. There was that one like vegan one that wasn't too bad, the Blackbird. I don't know if you guys had that before,
Oh
but
yeah, I've had that.
that was
Yeah.
not. I'm not vegan or vegetarian, but I would always recommend that to people that like were around like Union Transfer or whatever. And I was like, yeah, go there. That's great. There's also another, funnily enough, so the cheesesteak place that was there, I guess the owner sold it or whatever, but now there's another cheesesteak place that's there, and that cheesesteak was also good, and I can't remember what it is, but that place is great. That's also by Union Transfer, so go check it out. It's not vegan or vegetarian, so I'm sorry, homies that are that, but it is good, so go give that
We
a
all know
shot.
Santucci's, right? Like Santucci's pizza. Like we've had Santucci's. Their cheesesteak though, that's a good one too.
Slaps.
I just remember
Okay.
that
Oh,
It's
I
on-
never had their cheesesteak.
it's on garlic bread.
Oh,
Is
bro.
that?
Oh,
That's the type of innovation we need in this.
yeah,
so
exactly,
good.
yeah.
You hate yourself after eating that.
Oh, I'm
It is-
sure.
you're down for the count, but it is delicious.
I would not. I would just imagine if you play a show, you had that, and then play a show. No way, you'd be done. There's no way you would have to cancel the show.
No.
Cancel the show. I'm done. I'm going to bed.
I think I would starve myself before the set, play the set, and then just immediately house that after it's
Yeah,
over.
I was just
and
recently
pass
talking
out.
to my. I was just recently talking to my buddy who will not eat before he plays because he doesn't want to weigh himself down because he just, I guess, eats shit before or wants to eat shit, not literal shit, but metaphorical shit.
Yeah,
And I said to him like, why not just eat half? And he had a moment.
you broke him.
He had
Yeah,
never considered eating half.
he's like, I'd rather die
I'm
up on stage first. You know, he's
Exactly,
like,
yeah. And he's like, after he's done playing, I'm so hungry. I'm a banana. One banana, I'm good to go. Maybe
You're
two
rocking.
bananas when I'm feeling feisty.
there you go. Make sure you eat. If you don't, last thing we would want is for you to pass out on stage. So like, do yourself a favor and eat like at least a little something. Don't go ham. Don't eat the full cheesesteak on garlic bread. That's not the move. But like, eat something. Be reasonable. You know, don't kill yourself. We would like to see you play a show. So, but the next question I have for you guys is if you could have a dream collaboration on an up and coming Here Now track, who would you love to have on? The question actually is going to get split into two answers. The first answer is one that's more feasible, like, you know, if you wink wink nudge nudge someone that, you know, you want to ask but haven't formally asked, and now is the time to call them out in a very, like, you know, nice polite way. And then the second choice is the one that's like the dream, the manifest. We're putting it out there, you know.
Damn, this is a loaded question.
It is a
Yeah,
loaded question.
it
It's
is
one of my
loaded.
favorite ones, though.
Yeah.
Are you talking about like artists or producers or both?
You could fill in the blank with whatever you would like. I'm just saying in terms of what you feel like would resonate most with you or the band collectively.
I'm gonna say, so there's two options. There's like the kind of like, I hate to say like the unattainable dream because that like,
You know,
it's
you
like
put it
knocking
out there,
myself
you
down.
know. I feel like you could do it, you know. We put a
low
lot of
dream,
weight in
high
there.
dream.
Yeah, low bar dream, high bar dream, you know. That's how I see it.
Yeah. my buddies in Sleep Cycles, I've talked to Chris, their singer,
Ooh.
a few times about we should do like just like get all 8 of us in a room together, or in a Logic session together, and let's cook something up and co-release something. I think that would be fun. Like, me and Chris have been friends for a really long time, and other everyone in this band is super cool, and I think that would be like my attainable collab. And if Chris sees this, sorry, I never sent you that idea. I said I would.
Now is the time. Yeah, you did it.
Hire one. I want to say Rick Rubin, because just I want to know what happens in those rooms. Like, you hear all the shit, and I would love to just be more than a fly on the wall. I want to feel the magic that he's putting out. Whatever takes he does, he's sprinkling on people. I want a piece of it.
Smart.
It's a
I
good
like
one.
that. I like that. Yeah.
That's a really good one. That dude is on a different wave, and I
For
would love to
sure.
ride the wave. I would love to ride it.
For sure. Do you know JW? Because I'm thinking here too.
I
I
mean,
want to root of like musicians, and not like producers and stuff. Like, if we work with some,
Yeah.
something like guest vocals or something like that. Or, but I'm also like, I don't know the line of like low skill to high skill, because I'm like, if we meet somebody, you never know. But I like, if we can get like guest vocals on a song, I was thinking, bringing it back to what we were talking about earlier, like Keith Buckley, like on a song, incredible.
Yeah.
I'm also back on a kick of that last Coheed record, so Claudio Sanchez.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that would be like a dream person to work with in any regard, like whatever. Claudio, yeah, that'd be incredible.
We'll call him up after this.
Yeah.
You got him on speed dial. JW?
I would say I don't know if this is attainable or not. It's probably less attainable, but I guess he's in the area. But I was gonna say for producer Will Yip,
I was
because
gonna. I had a feeling. Yeah.
every record that he's put out, I've just been like, this is fucking sick. Yeah, I know he's in Conshohocken, so
He's in
it's close.
Conshohocken. Yeah, I was gonna
So,
say.
you
Yeah.
know, by proximity, maybe it's attainable, but yeah.
Definitely.
Is that you're all encompassing the dream and feasible?
Yeah, I guess so. I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I've got.
Hey, that's a great choice. I mean, Will Yip is like one of the best people in this area to be doing music. So
The GOAT right now.
the GOAT, yeah. I don't know. I thought for sure I saw something about him like being like a Grammy nominee or something. I thought he was like nominated for something, but I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing something different. But
Yeah, was it Code Orange? He helped with that record, and they were Grammy nominated.
yeah,
Damn.
big
for him.
salutes. He's crushing it. So, Will Yip, if you watch this, because you're local. So, I mean, I feel like you watch my stuff. So, we're like, practically
We can be
related.
there in 30 minutes, dog.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'll show up too. I'll uninvited.
They're always invited.
Oh, thank you. Well, guys, listen, if you want to make this happen, I need you to first go follow Here Now on Instagram. And if you haven't done that, then, you can't do step 2. So go do that first. Then second, I need you to tag all of these bands. And then I need you to type collab ? And then just post it on your story, because we all know it's true. We all know it's going to happen. They came on here to announce it here with me, which, I appreciate, I appreciate the gusto. But, listen, if you just want to, if you want to let them know that you want this to happen, I mean, hey,
Right.
it can happen, It's on the internet, so it's probably got to be true,
It is.
You believe it. It's on the internet. It's real, right?
It's on the internet. It's true.
So,
That's how it works.
that's how it works, yeah.
I need to fact check it. It's on the internet.
Yeah, no need for fact checking. Just do it. Just full send, I believe in you guys. You can do it. My fan base has got it, so let's rock. But the next question I have for you guys is my personal favorite. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a huge nerd, so I love asking this. If you guys could be a video game character, who would you be?
I'm not a big video game person, so
Yeah, me either. I don't think I have an answer for this.
Oh.
I don't play video games.
on the opposite
That's fair.
end. So
Wait, actually, I take that back. I have an answer. I would be Toad in Mario Kart. That's it. Final answer.
I love that.
Yeah, I got
That's
Switch.
You give me Toad energy, so I feel that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
So this is going to be a weird answer because I haven't even played the game because I don't play video games, but I'm a big Star Wars nerd, and that new Star Wars video game that last weekend with the guy from Shameless.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
that's
Yeah.
fair. I respect that. That's a power move. You know,
This is really hard because I am. In fact,
I had a feeling. Yeah.
giant video game nerd. And I truly do not know if I could be a video game character.
Not the music question that stumps Pat, you know, like it's the nerd question. I got you, you know. I know my audience.
I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 right now. With shout out my real nerd. I'm tempted to say like the character I made in that, but I'm gonna go with something classic and say like anybody from Final Fantasy VII, because that's just like the truth. I'm going full send Barrett from Final Fantasy VII. He's a big dude with a gun as a hand.
I mean, that is true.
Clarifying for JW and I, who are looking at each other.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know who that is.
Cool.
Meanwhile, all the nerds in the chat are like, "Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, the
That's a sick
reactions
answer."
Makes it seem like it's a good choice.
Meanwhile, I'm like, "Let's go. Great choice."
Yeah, I can play guitar because I now have a gun for a hand. Sorry, guys, but I do have a gun for a hand.
Some sacrifices you have to make. You know?
Yeah, listen.
Just-
Yeah. I'll take it, you know. It'll make your live shows that much more interesting to try to play a chord with your gun hand, you know. Figure that out.
He's essentially Barrett seems like he was based off of who's the Mr. T? I feel like he's
for sure.
Mr. T.
For sure.
Gun for hand.
Don't worry, guys. I'm going to put a picture of Barrett right here so everyone that is not a nerd knows exactly who this is. So, just saying. I mean, Pat explained it very well, but like if you can't read between the lines, I got you. I got you. So, good choice. Good choice, Pat. I also again, I feel like now, you know, I've spoken it into existence, but I feel like JW, for if they ever play a Halloween show, JW has to dress up as Toad. That's the only time I'll come out to a show.
True.
You know, if I don't see it, I'm gonna be real upset.
Yeah.
But
I walked right into it too, you know.
I feel like you got it now.
To myself.
Yeah, so
But
let us know in the
you're
comments.
absolutely right.
If JW does not dress up as Toad this year for Halloween, come find him, you know?
Yes.
Let him know. I'm
If
just
we're not
kidding.
already
Don't be mean. Don't be mean. You have to cosplay as the one music video where they're just naked, just a birthday suit. It'd be quite the show in one way or another. But the next question I have for you guys is, if you were to compile a dream tour lineup, including Here Now, who would be on this lineup?
Many Eyes.
Ooh.
Because they fucking shred and bring the energy.
I mean, I would say like I feel like all of our influences are around like Bring Me the Horizon, so I feel like that would be a good one. Plus, that would pretty much guarantee that it'd be at an arena, so that'd be tight.
Smart move, smart business move. You know, JW thinking, I got you.
Yeah.
Smart, yeah.
That's it.
I know Pat and I, Thrice would probably be one of those bands, which is like, you know, obviously heavily influenced in our music and just one of our favorite bands of all time. And that would just be like a dream tour kind of thing, to just be able to play, you know, a show with those guys. Like, would just be like, that's like it, you know? Like,
That's hidden. Yeah, you hit the big leagues. Yeah.
We're just like, we're good after that. There's no other shows to be played. Like, we're just good after that.
Just before Nick jumped in Here Now, we played a show with Les Art, who it's Riley and why am I blanking? From Thrice, we kind of know the drummer and the bass player, but yeah, Ed and Riley. And so, yeah, we're opening that show, and the sound guy was like, "All right, you guys ready for sound check?" And I'm like I like the vocal warm up. I like to chill, sip on some tea, And so I was totally caught off guard. We had the sound check, and my vocals were hot ass, and I was like so embarrassed and ashamed because they were just like, sitting on the couch right in front of me, just witnessing, not knowing that I'm like, I grew up a giant Thrice fan, but
Sure, yeah.
witnessing the hot garbage that was coming from my mouth, and I was secretly hated that sound guy that day for being
Very
like,
upset.
surprise sound check.
You're like, surprise sound check, and you're like, fuck. You're like, oh man, now I have to play in front of them. That's crazy. Well, I feel like this is a great tour. Again, if you click all of the links in the description, it will unlock this insane tour. So, listen, you have to click every link. You have to subscribe to everything. You have to follow, and then listen. I don't make the rules. So I'm just saying.
I like that we made the tour that we are guaranteed to open.
That's
So when
fine.
this happens,
Hey,
you also have to
Shoot for the
come to
moon,
show.
baby.
shoot for the moon. Yeah. Hey, listen, we take no prisoners here in 2024. So I think, you guys are set.
Yeah.
You guys are set. The next tour you're going to be opening for is that like Incubus, Coheed, and Cambria tour, just got announced. So, hey, listen, I respect that. Thank you for spending the time before you go on like these mega tours. It's great. So proud of you guys. Insane. Maybe that's why it takes, maybe that's why it's like a whole year thing, for you to answer the messages, because you guys are just doing these big things. So,
A lot going on
really
behind the
just watching
scenes.
my inbox not move, just waiting for these invites to happen to these shows. That's why I haven't been answering. I've just been staring at my inbox.
You've just been waiting. Yeah. You've been listening to lo-fi cranked at the highest volume you can and just waiting for the next email to just hit the inbox.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, I'm going to answer in a second. I'm just waiting for this show.
Right now, it's just like Pat's just standing there. He has like one of those cardboard cutouts, and we're like, wow, Pat hasn't blinked for like a whole hour. That's kind of crazy. Should get that checked out. It might be a medical emergency, So, but love that. Well, hopefully that will happen. I'll speak it into existence. So, if anybody that's like Coheed or Incubus team, hey, listen, drop a line. It'd be kind of sick. I want to say it happened
this morning, so if I can get reimbursed for that ticket, get already back for that tour, that'd be great.
They'll just give you catering. They'll just give Nick catering for the day. They'll be like, okay, you're good. Yeah.
There we go. Perfect. Yeah.
The next question, guys, is I'm sure you have seen a lot of concerts in your time, but what is one band that is a band that just puts on a phenomenal live show that you've seen?
That's tough because when you see so many shows, they start to bleed together. So I'm gonna pick my most recent good show, and it was Thrice. They just played. Was it Union Transfer?
Ooh, nice, great venue. Yeah,
is that where it was? I think they're doing the Artists in the Ambulance tour.
I'll look.
And yeah, they absolutely crushed that show. And I want to say, also, I think my good friend Lenny was doing lights that night, and like they were just captivating and incredible, and also just brought that show up to the next level. So I think for a while that show is gonna have some real estate in my heart.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
I saw August Burns Red at the Fillmore in like a few months ago. It was definitely like, I guess it was the fall. And I mean, they're always awesome. I've seen them a bunch of times, but they just like, their lights are crazy. The crowd energy is always crazy.
Yeah.
They sound huge. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just like they're doing what they're doing at like the top level,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that.
I wouldn't disagree.
And it's like running on just like the top level all times.
Yeah, like there's no mistakes. There's nothing happens that's not part of the plan.
Peak
like
performance. That's all.
It's all really well done.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I've seen them. I can't even count how many times I've seen them now at this point. They're like Philadelphia is their like second home. So anytime they play like a major city, it's almost always guaranteed a Philly show. So yeah, the fans are wild here. So I love it.
I would also say at the same spot, I saw the Menzingers play a holiday show at the Fillmore. This was like a few years ago. And dude, it was awesome. Like it was just peak Philly shit, and in the best way. That was a really fun show too.
Well, my answer was almost going to be the Wonder Years, and I was like, "That's too so Philly." But
That's a good choice, though.
I've seen them probably live more than any other band, and they're just like for that reason. Their shows are just so fun. But then the answer I was going to pivot to is Devil Wears Prada. Like I've seen them a bunch of times lately, and they're just insane live. Like, and
Yeah.
I'm not even a huge Devil Wears Prada fan. I wasn't until like they're one of my fiance's favorite bands, and she like really hard into them. And those last few albums are awesome. They're so good, but never really went out of my way to see them live, and then started seeing them a ton once we started dating, and they've become like just one of those bands that like they're just so good live. Like they're just insane live. There's just so much energy, and they're just so fun. So that was going to be my answer. Devil Wears Prada.
I need a runner up, and I thought you were going to say it, Nick. And the Dirty Nil. They're like, had I had my wits about me, they might have. They're tied for sure, but yeah, they're awesome every time.
Mm-hmm.
I will say for Thrice, I had never seen Thrice up until they did like a co-headliner with Circus Survive like years ago, and it was with Balance and Composure and Chan, which great lineup. Shout outs to Balance and Composure, also fantastic band. But I was never really a big Thrice fan. I was like, oh, I like them. I've heard a lot of their music, but I never really got it. And they were playing second to Circa because I was living in Jersey at the time, and I was like, I gotta go see this. This is a great lineup. Let me go. And I remember just having my jaw to the floor watching Thrice, and I was like, Dustin sounds fantastic live. Like I don't like he is the peak epitome of like, wow, you sound like the record, but are live, and the fact that he again is playing guitar and like also singing, just incredible. So I gotta give him every time that Thrice is brought up in any of interviews that I do. I'm like, I always have to give Dustin and Thrice, the rest of Thrice, a shout outs because they really truly are a band that I was like converted that night. I was like, yep, they're great. They're a great band. Like it all clicked. And there's been some bands in my like history that I've seen that I didn't really get, but seeing them live, it's like a light bulb went off, and you're like, I get it now. Makes sense. So, shout outs to them. They're great.
Hell yeah.
But the next question I have for you guys is favorite TV show, favorite movie.
Yeah, what's your favorite movie, huh?
I'm gonna say two, obviously, because Nick's waiting for me to say. Obviously, I'm not everyone here knows me that well, but Interstellar had a huge influence on me, and the Dilate record. There's a couple songs on there that are like directly about that movie.
Wow. Okay.
And the first time I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, I was thinking like this may take that Interstellar spot in my heart. So those two are definitely up there. Favorite show, I think might. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say before I say this out loud. I think Community. I said it. I can't take it back. I think Community might be my favorite show.
Let's go. I love Community.
And I think Nick turned me on to that show.
Yeah. I remember when you started watching that, and you were
every episode.
Very into it.
This episode.
And it's like I showed it to you, so yeah, I have seen all the episodes. Great choice, though. Love that.
I knew you were gonna say Interstellar, so I was kind of like setting you up. But then mine was gonna be maybe Everything Everywhere All at Once. So you kind of took that from me now, and now it's like, but my honorary mentions maybe for favorite movie. And I don't count Star Wars. Like I already said, like I love Star Wars, but like I don't really when it comes to movies. It's just like I don't for some reason.
It's just a given. It's just a shoe in. I got you. I respect it. I respect. Yeah, I respect.
Look at a Star Wars poster right here. But probably Superbad is my favorite movie. Like that's just one of those movies I can watch for the rest of my life on repeat and never get sick of it. Yeah. And then as far as TV show, Hot Rod is always good.
No, I gotta get something.
We quote Hot Rod all the time. I'm very excited.
We force them out.
This is one of my favorite movies of all time. So yeah, this
Pat
is
and I
great.
both have Hot Rod shirts, the same shirt. We just plan to never wear them at the same time. We're gonna show up to a show one time.
I am gonna show up to a show with a Hot Rod shirt. I just bought one recently. There's this guy that like makes like shout outs to, I think it's, I'm gonna go look it up real fast, but I'm gonna give him a shout out because he made a Hot Rod shirt, and I'm gonna be patiently waiting to get it in my mail. But yeah,
I hope it's the one that Pat
is my
and I
favorite.
have.
I'm looking it up. I'm gonna go look it up now, but you guys can give the rest of your answers, and I'll find out if it's the same one.
I'm stumped on TV show. There's a lot that come to mind, but I don't know if they're like favorite. Like Breaking Bad is definitely towards the top, so I might just go with that one right now. But Breaking Bad is like classic. That's just a phenomenal show.
JW,
I feel like my answer is always like lame because I love like trash TV.
oh, interesting. Okay.
Like I truly do. I'm very passionate about it. And I watch
Vanderpump right now.
Yeah,
so.
I actually, I did a cover of the theme song of Vanderpump Rules that I posted to my Instagram last week. So pull it up if you want to hear what Vanderpump Rules would sound like. Emo as shit. But yeah, you know, I'm all over all of those. There's no bottom for me. That's really where I'm at, and I don't watch a ton of movies. I don't know why I'm not a movie person. Nick somehow with Superbad stole the one movie that I was going to list.
Y'all are just stealing each other's movies.
So that's always my answer because it's like universally loved. Like nobody's gonna argue with that. But I don't really watch a lot of movies. I watch trash TV. There have been some scripted shows that I've watched that I've enjoyed, but none are coming to mind right now. You know, hit me with the reality TV. I'm here for it.
I don't know. I never had that nerve in my body. Like there's just some of my friends that really love it. I feel like you have to have like a certain like gene in your brain to be like, I love this.
It's called anxiety.
That's amazing. I think you nailed it, honestly. Now I'm gonna have to ask if my friends have anxiety or not, which they probably do because they're musicians. So you know,
I enjoy it because like nothing really bad happens. You know what I mean?
That's what you think. It's their whole lives are destroyed. You know, if things don't go right, boom.
Right,
it's
it's like I typically in an entertaining way. You know, and it is. I always love just watching. You know, people fight with one another.
I did. Wow. All right. That's toxic as fuck, but hey, I respect it.
I'm not fighting.
That's true. You aren't fighting. You just enjoy fighting, which maybe is, I don't know. That's maybe a character trait, you know.
AW's toxic trait is he loves watching a good fight.
Oh yeah, dude.
He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna pick out who's gonna win it.
That's right. He is an asshole.
We are unlocking a lot of shit tonight.
I'm just over on the sidelines, just hyping everybody up. That's really where I'm at.
You're like, yeah, you definitely throw that punch. Go do it. You know.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You're gonna do it anyway. You know.
Yeah.
We might as well enjoy ourselves.
Oh my god. Well, I do want to give a shout out. So Youth X Energy was I'll see if I can zoom in on it, but I don't know if it will let me.
That's the shirt.
Is it really? Oh my god. That's amazing.
I swear, almost even wore it tonight for this.
I'm waiting to get it. Shout outs to Youth X Energy on Instagram. He's got some great merch, but yeah, I saw it was up for pre-order, and I was like, "Yep, that's that. I'm buying that. I'm doing it." So
that's
I'll show up to a Here Now show with that shirt on, so I can really relive my telling of this video.
Nick and I will be wearing it as well because that's in our our show rotation.
We'll all show up to the. We should do the Spider-Man meme where we're all pointing at you. I was going to say we're all pointing at each other. We should just do that. And then be like, hey, did you watch this interview we did? Look, clickbait, we got it. This is it. This is it, guys. So we did it.
Marketing.
Marketing 101 is
wanting us to fight.
JW's like, throw a fist, man. Come on, do it up. Love it.
I was talking shit this whole time.
Yeah, actually, I hate that movie. That's the worst movie ever, and we're all like getting ready to just strangle JW. So Very exciting. Well, the next question I have for you guys is if you're trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one album you can bring with you to listen to, what album would that be? I feel like it's a little easier. It's a month, you know, you got a month. Just chill out.
Well, my favorite record of all time, which is what I would bring, is Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run. So that would be my like desert island album. Yeah.
Are we trapped together on the island?
I mean, that's up to your discretion.
I'm just making sure.
If you want to hang out with Nick and JW, that's up to you. You know, hey.
JW, do you have one lined up yet?
I was like scrolling through my Spotify. I mean, if it's a month, when is the month? Is
whatever you want.
I've been listening to the new Drake record a bunch recently, and I could do that for another month.
Respect. Okay, respect.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's really grown on me. If you at first I was like, that's not it, but turns out
it is it.
It is it.
I mean,
this is really hard.
Album for like over a year now, so that could easily be it as well too.
Wait, what's that?
But I've been listening to that Dayseeker album for like over a year, probably. So that could be my record as well.
I think both Pat and JW probably kill you on your island if they heard that album again. No offense to Dayseeker, I love Dayseeker, but I feel like they would be like, Dayseeker's like, oh man, we love that Spotify, that whole like 3 cents that you've given them over the course of the year, you know. So good job, Nick.
That whole 3 cents.
From me.
Hundreds of hours of hard work.
Yeah, hundreds of hour hard work. But you're giving them those 3 hard-earned cents that you're giving them. So I respect that.
Just do my part.
I figured out my answer.
All right.
My I think it's 2021. Like most listened to record was Dua Lipa's Future Nostalgia, and I was like going not like emotionally, but like just really grinding that year, and that for some reason that I just discovered her that year, and that album like pushed me through. Just feels good. It's fun. It's energetic. The
So
bass fucking rips throughout that record, and I feel like if I am like trapped on a desert island, I'm gonna have a party, and that's gonna be the anthem.
I feel that, yeah. I'm a huge Dua Lipa stan, so you know, Dua Lipa. If you watch, I know you watch the show, so you know, come on whenever you want. Would love to have you. You know, I've been waiting patiently for the past like 3 years, so you know, I'll wait longer. It's okay. I'm still here.
Watching the inbox like me.
Yeah, I'm watching the inbox for Dua. I'm waiting for Dua Lipa. I'm waiting for whatever Universal email me back.
Well, she's doing the same thing. She's sitting there watching her inbox, waiting for you to.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm glad the feeling's mutual. No, that's a fantastic album, and I also love her new song Houdini. I've been on a Dua Lipa kick recently, so I feel like Dua Lipa's crushing it. So you know, again, Dua Lipa, if you want to come on, I'll be checking my emails tonight. So you know. Anyway, the last question I have for you guys is my most favorite question. I wrap off all of my interviews with this, but I wanted to know why you guys are passionate about making music. Why is this something that you guys spend extra time, tears, blood, money, all that stuff? Why is this important to you? Because like for me as a listener and as someone who has been interviewing bands for 8 years now, I always love to know why people do this, because it's such a grind. It's something that, you know, people would consider to be stupid in some ways. So I want to know why it's important to you and why it's something that has been, you know, a staple in your life.
I think for me, I'm always like a see how far I can push it kind of person. And so it's like that tied in with like the social aspect, like just like building something with people I care about. On top of like just like needing outlet, like a creative outlet. You know, like when I feel I often just like it turns into music immediately. So like I feel super grateful that I can build this stuff with awesome people and then see how far we can push it and you know, piss off our families essentially.
It was so heartfelt until the end. So I love that. That was great. Nick or JW?
I mean, for me, I feel like it's music has been kind of a common thread throughout all the phases of my life. I played in my first band in fourth grade, and I've been doing it for forever, and like, I've I've been involved so deeply in it for so long that I don't really see a world where I would stop doing that. You know what I mean? And there have been points where I've felt like, frustrated and unfulfilled. And I've kind of like, I think my relationship with music has ebbed and flowed at points, but like, I don't think that there's a world where I would just like be like, well, that was a fun chapter. You know what I mean? It's
Sure.
been like the thing for me for, you know, my whole life basically. So um yeah, I love it, and it like it's just awesome. It's a lot of fun. It's obviously difficult at points, but it's you know I don't know. I'm like obsessed with it
It's
in a
character
weird
building.
like
Yeah.
masochistic way maybe sometimes, but I don't know what I would do if I wasn't doing it.
I feel like musicians are like just the slightest bit masochistic in some way. I even consider myself probably a little masochistic because I interview bands and, I get the question all the time of like, yeah, so like, what are you doing with your YouTube channel? I'm like, I get to talk to musicians all like every day if I want to. That's dope. Like, that's amazing. But yeah, I feel that. I feel that, JW. Nick, you want to round us out? What's yours?
Yeah, I was gonna say a very similar thing to JW, in that like, um, it's like a part of me, and like the most basic way I could put that, where like, I've been playing music for so long. I think I was like in fourth grade when I started taking like the concert band drum stuff, like in elementary school, and like it's just been such a part of me that like it's just who I am. And like having that creative outlet, and um being able to do that is just like it's just routine, but in like the best way possible, and it's just like kind of like an itch you got to scratch in a way of just like needing to express that and put that stuff out. But then also at the same time, like Pat and JW, they're my dudes, and every Monday we get to hang out together at the studio and just be creative and see how far we can push ourselves, and get in a room together with some instruments and turn out songs like "Stay Dead." It's days like today where like the song comes out and everything like that. It's very cool day when like you see like to reflect on like the whole process of it. And just it's very fun and very cool to be a part of that whole thing. So um, just like Pat was saying too, like just seeing how far we could take it. You know, the ride in itself is just fun.
Yeah, I think it's what I kind of attribute to is character building, like I as I mentioned, I've in like roughly by the time this comes out it'll probably be beyond that, but like in like a couple weeks I'll be celebrating 8 years of interviewing bands, like that's pretty thank you, thank
Congrats,
you.
dude.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
And like stupidly I was like a senior in college and I was like, you asked the age old question of like what are you going to do with your life, and I was like, you know what, interviewing bands, music has always been so incredibly important to me, and I was like, I really feel like for myself, like I respect how much drive it takes to be a musician, especially now, and even like post pandemic and stuff. Like it's such a difficult thing, and so for me, I always want to try to help out bands in the best way that I possibly can, and what better way than to just try to obviously promote what they have going on and obviously try to foster that community of people that love music and will go out to shows and like go see locals and all that sort of stuff because that's what keeps the scene alive and that's what's really important. So for me, love Here Now, and I will continue to support what they do. So you can expect more reaction videos, all that stuff from them, regardless of if they answer my emails back or not. It's fine. You will still love them, but the guys can say where they can find you at on social media, what you guys have coming up. I mean, hey, if you want to like, leak the next song or like, give a little taste of what's to come, then hey, that's your time.
I will say, I'm not sure when this is going to come out, but February the 6th, we're in New York at Bar Frida, and the following week,
Today's the 6th, though.
same night. Oh, sorry, the 10th, is it?
Yeah, the 10th we're in New York at Bar Frida, and then the following Friday, Kung Fu Necktie, the 16th.
I get fucked up because we released on the 6th, we had the show on the 10th, and then the next show on the 16th. So you see all these numbers, you know, I did that. But I will say, so yeah, we're playing Bar Frida on the 10th, and then we're playing Kung Fu Necktie in Philly on the 16th. But at both shows, we are playing a song that you can't listen to on Spotify. So, yeah, I'm excited. That'll be the first time we're truly ever playing that song for people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you like it or not because it's recorded. So it rocks.
Wow, you really have become a jaded musician, Pat. You're like, fuck your feelings. No, I'm really stoked. If you have not checked out Stay Dead, you should definitely go do that. All of the links are below to check out Here Now. If you live in the Philly area, which I'd imagine a large portion of my viewing audience does live in this general area, go out and see Here Now. I imagine they will open that circle more and, you know, play other states. So if you like their music and you're like, hey, I want to see them play in Brazil, I don't know when that's going to happen, but it may happen sometime, you know? So if you just do that, let them know where, you know, you can go check out their music, go buy merch, go support them. Great live band. Honestly, one of my favorite live bands to see in the Philadelphia area. So go out and see them. Got great energy. And if you enjoyed this interview, share, like, and subscribe. It goes a long way. Your boy is just cooking this year. So, you know, if you want to help the journey, that'd be really amazing. And also check out the video for Stay Dead because it was really sick. And I spent some time editing it. I'm not going to tell you how much time, but some time. So you can go watch that. And huge thanks to Here Now for coming and chat with me.
Thank you for having us, man. And thanks for doing this. I mean, like you said, it's all about, you know, the putting on the local bands and things like that.
Community.
We really appreciate what you're doing.
We love it. So if you live in the area, let me know. Would love to come see your band and support you. So hit me up. All right, guys. Catch you later.
Thank you.